There we go. DCS World. Why is my throttle friction so low? I got this cranked all the way up. I feel like it might be egging out on the pin, or whatever it is, because every time I go to use it, the friction's slightly less, and I've got this cranked all the way, like, it shouldn't be loose. Yeah, that's a bit better.
Латиния. Разрешаю руление на полосу 3-1.
It looks intimidating, but trust me, it's not. Like, this is... Especially this, the SU-27 is a Flaming Cliffs 3 aircraft, so it's not full fidelity. Nothing in here is clickable. I wish it was clickable, because I know what most of this stuff does. It would give me better control over the plane. But flying this thing is pretty much easy. Getting good at flying it and killing people with it, I'm still working on that, and probably will be for a very long time, but flying it's easy. The MiG-21, which is probably one of my favourite things in the game to fly, it is full fidelity, so everything's clickable. It looks really complex and hard to start up, but it's actually really easy to memorize, and once you do that, it's a joy to fly. I mean, I can't... Marius... Yeah, it's Control E 3 times in this, because I can't click the cockpit. The thing there, the two handles between my legs, are the ejection handles, and some models of this seat have another pair above you, but those are the primary ones. Oh, I forgot my music. What am I doing? What the fuck am I doing? Alright, I'll just stop up here as long as I'm not going to get in that guy's way. Quickly set my music up. I don't think I'll go with my usual playlist. I don't want to kill it with repetition, so we'll just go for some synthwave, because that's good flying music. There we go. It's like Russian seats, like restraint that pulls your feet back doesn't exist. I mean, yeah, there's little things like that, but you can't really argue with the record of these seats. When they've had to use them, they've worked. Well, Anatoly for sure ejected, what, like, at least twice, I think? And he was flying fine. Like, after one of his ejections, he was flying air shows again pretty much the next week.
Взлет запрещаю. 107. Латиния. Взлет по готовности. Отход по схеме на 300. Подавление 7.
Normally I'd be off the ground a lot faster than this, but I'm kind of babying my rudder pedals just to make sure I don't break them any worse than they already are. And because I don't want to risk losing control of the aircraft on the ground. Wheels up. Flaps up, put some nose down trim in to stop it from trying to climb to the moon. There we go. Oh, bit of a freeze there. So I also should put a disclaimer, my PC is not the best showcase of DCS because although DCS has some optimization issues, my PC is also a clusterfuck. Yeah, so you might not get the same issues as I do, but they're still playable, generally. Come back to about 90%. I usually cruise around 90%. I find because the SU-27 is quite heavy compared to the MiG-29, it does bleed speed a bit faster when you're flying low as you, you know, climb up over a mountain. So I tend to keep it around 90% just to avoid losing too much. My PC is referred to by friends as an electronic version of a Somali pirate skiff, and that's honestly a pretty accurate description. Flying and drinking, I know, right? Though to be fair, usually when I play DCS, I'm either hungry, tired, or somewhat inebriated, so, like, at this point, it doesn't make much difference. One way or another, I'm going to be less than stellar in terms of airmanship. Continue sort of probably 240-ish and skirt around these guys if I can. Yeah, but that worked out really well for you, Paul. There are some F-14 pilots who really need to reconsider their life choices as a result of that. The level of alcohol in my system that grants me godlike aiming skills and FPS. Yeah, same here. Same here. I've encountered that a few times. Oh my... Look at the data link, my dude. Look at that. What a clusterfuck. That's their entire team. Jesus Christ. Alright, we're just gonna avoid the fuck out of that. 132-0 in a Black Ops 1 match. I was down a pint of gin. Jesus Christ, man. Well, that's like, back when I used to play World of Tanks a lot, when the game first came out, we would do drunken company battles with, like, we'd get all the goons together that played it, all the guys from Something Awful that played it, and we'd do drunken company battles. And there was a certain level of vodka that would grant me absolute god-tier skills in the T-54, which I was unable to replicate sober. Run right at them, that's what I usually do. To be fair, that's probably what I'm going to end up doing. I'll fly out, like, a bit around them and then turn in and run right into them like I always do. Unfortunately, they do actually know I'm here. One of them's painting me. But they aren't doing anything about it, which is good. Oh, one of them's locked me. Guy's gone cold. He's probably in burner, which is why we're picking him up from so far away. One of them is definitely coming for me. As long as it's only one. If it's one, I can deal with him, especially if I can bait him into these hills. It's when more than one of them start coming this way I really need to worry. Hey, Jeff. See how far I can bait this guy out. If I can string him out so he's totally alone, and get him over some favourable terrain, I might actually be in with a shot here. So, for those of you that don't know, Pom here in my chat is a phenomenal pilot. He does pretty much purely PvP stuff. He's a lot better at this than me, so if you want to see some really high quality, especially in the Hornet, the A10, and the Mirage, go give him a follow. Watching him in the Mirage in a dogfight is really something. You know when you find someone who's really good at a game like Mirror's Edge or something, they just have that flow? He has that with the Mirage. And it's thanks to watching him do that that I've started flying it myself. A bit of a freeze there. 124 and 2 on Just Dogfight Air. Damn, dude, nicely done! 5 and 3 on Growling Sidewinder last night. Hey, Jeff, if you want to do some gun stuff later, like in, I don't know, maybe an hour or so, if you're still around and you want to do some gun stuff, fucking let me know, dude. I'm totally down for guns. I'll take the Mirage up. I love gunfighting in the Mirage. It is probably now my favourite thing to do in this game. As much as I love my Soviet birds, gunfighting in the Mirage is just, oh, beautiful. Just right. Okay, I got one guy hot on me. Probably not going to spot this guy. I'm too far out. So what I'll do instead... Oh, hello. No, I got something. Briefly. There we go. That's him. He's in on friendly, so probably not worth engaging him. He's already being taken care of. I've got two coming out my way. Gonna need to deal with them. Got a nice trench to my front, I'll drop into that. Hopefully the other guy will lose interest, because one-on-one I'm relatively confident. Two-on-one I will almost always die. At least if they're aware. If I can get into a group of unaware aircraft, I'll do pretty well. Trying to catch up on chat and fly at the same time is incredibly hard, but I'll do it in a minute, guys. Bear with me. I'm not ignoring you. Not by choice. Alright, here we go. This guy seems to have lost interest. And I don't think he has radar on me anymore. Looks like I'm being painted by my own team. I'll fire an ET at him, and then hook around for the guy that's flanking me. They will see me now. Oh, come on. Don't do this to me. Oh, it's because I had the thing set to the wrong search zone. No, that's picked up someone else. Interesting. Can I pick up the guy I want? Please? He's off my nose. Oh, he's turned hot. Fuck it. We're going active. That's going to make him dive. Yep, there he goes. He's going to drive it into the ground. But it's forced him defensive. We'll give him another ER. Okay, he's behind the hill. Oh, someone splashed him. Or he killed himself. Don't know what the fuck just happened there. For this guy with an ET, then turn for the guy on my left. Get him inside the lethal range. Oh shit, I had him. There we go. Flare. Do it. Okay. Did I get him? I can't tell. Yeah, I think I got him. I don't know if I got this other guy. What are we sitting on? 1 kill, yeah. So the other guy got away from my ET, unfortunately. Give him an ER. We're down to 73s now. So I gotta close the range. That will force him defensive. Gotta get a bit closer to use these though. Sneaking like crazy trying to get away from those. He's got a friendly on him too. He's about to launch on me probably. Did he get splashed? No. That was a 9X that just went past me. Oh, God, shit. Shit, shit, shit. We got 1 missile left. There we go, something got him.
PG Переведи в норму. Переведи в норму.
I got him.
Предельный угол атаки. Предельный угол атаки. Переведи в норму. Предельный угол атаки.
And we are RTB. Okay, once I'm out of the danger area, I'll catch up on chat, guys. Just figure out where the nearest enemy is. I don't want to get jumped. 70 at 500. So he's pretty much west-northwest, on the deck, chasing me. Okay. They responded with, while you're flying a UFO. Meanwhile, they were in 15s. Yeah, the 15 is the worst UFO in the game, and the Mirage's flight model is good enough that the French Air Force use it to train. So anyone that calls a Mirage a UFO, in my book, has no clue what they're talking about. Nine X are like magic. Yeah, they really are. I hate 9Xs because they don't leave a trail. Quite often I'll see the 9X and I'll think, he's gone into Afterburner, and I'll point my nose right at it, thinking that's the enemy aircraft, and fly myself into their missile. Gunfighting double Mirages on us popping smoke is awesome. When Mi-24P comes out, we'll revamp Car 50, Ross Must Fly. Yeah, I would love to do some gunning in the Mi-24. I do a lot of it in armor, so doing it in this would be awesome. I actually would have preferred an Mi-24V. I know that, you know, the guns are far less capable, but... Or even a VP, actually. A VP would be really good. Just because, as the gunner, I like to have a turret I can control, and then, you know... With the P, that is the pilot's job. And I'm probably not going to be able to fly the thing with any degree of competence. Okay, a 50 paid upgrade is going to be awkward. Wait, are they making that a paid upgrade? What? What? ED, what the fuck are you doing? Russian radar screen's actually cool. Well, I mean, do you mean my data link? Or do you mean my actual radar, which is the one that appears on the HUD? It's really bad for SA and Ross's biggest gripe. What do you mean it's my biggest gripe? I fucking love, I absolutely adore the way the radar on this displays. No, I was saying 9X as in I was talking about what Jeff said earlier. I'm catching up on chat, dude. Or trying to. Car 50 upgrade will be the second time they did. Fucking Jesus Christ. That's ridiculous. The weird geometry you need to do, the triangulation. Yeah, I don't like the way I have to control the radar, but I like the way that the radar displays on the HUD. Like, the way it cues me on the HUD, I like. The actual fiddling around with the radar orientation, I don't like. That's the thing there. Like, if you could take the radar from, say, the F-15, but make it display like the radar on this, I'd be over the moon. Nearly back, 70 kilometers to go.
Переведи в напор. Переведи в напор.
I mean, as I've said before, there are certain things about the way that the Russians do things that I prefer to the way the West does things, and there are ways that the West does things I prefer to the way the Russians do things. If the two of them could get along long enough to actually cooperate on some sort of military project, it would be fucking astonishing. Like, holy fuck. Because they specialize in different areas. You know, they bring something different to the table. And it's nice to have a different way of thinking. So you can kind of look at what you've got and think, does it really need to be like this, or can we make it better? Like, is this better than what we do? We never even considered it, so let's try it out. Yeah, but Soviet rocket engines won out in the end. Like, that's the thing. Some NASA parts get standardized, some Soviet-made parts end up being so good that they're still better than anything the Americans have like 30 years later when they get pulled out of a warehouse. Like, different focuses in R&D and different focuses in technology. Well, maybe you should take a leaf out of the Soviet book and just cram away all the spares in a warehouse somewhere and forget they're there. Fucking 500 IQ plan right here. Alright, let's land this thing. Speaking of SpaceX, alright, so I'll be honest, I don't really keep up with whatever fucking old Muskie is up to today, so I had no idea this was a thing, but I was recently alerted to the whole loop idea he had. Why do people take this guy seriously? Like, it is just fucking magic. I don't understand the allure of everyone pitching in with a guy who pitches ideas like, yeah, let's just take cars and make them go 150 miles an hour through like a bajillion tunnels under a city, which is impossible. You can't dig that. Like, you just can't dig that. Even if you hand-wave magical tunnel boring technology out the air. You've got foundations and existing services to worry about, let alone the fucking geology of the place. Yeah, let's make them go 150 miles an hour so they blow out their tyres after the first trip. They will come out of elevators that go underground, so you'll end up with less parking space, more traffic congestion at the end, and that's going to slow up the entire chain. Like, holy fuck. I don't understand, and this is the thing, like, I really don't get the cults of personality that form around these Silicon Valley kinds of people, because they have, like, one good idea, or they happen into one market niche that worked out really well for them, and suddenly they're fucking God, and they can solve all the world's problems at a stroke. Like, come on. Hope no one's on the runway. We'll find out soon enough.
Выпустить шасси. Выпустить шасси. Выпустить шасси.
that time to freeze, DCS. Oh, there goes a MiG-21.
107. Заруливайте на стоянку.
Let's hope no one else is taking off from that taxiway, because I need to go across it. Alright. I'll catch up on chat again in a minute. Oddly enough, reading my phone while landing is not really conducive to survival, so... I usually taxi over here next to the terminal building just because I don't know where the spawn points are and I don't want to spawn, or I don't want someone to spawn inside me, which has happened before. It's terrifying. Alright, we need to shut down so the ground crew will actually approach the plane. Get rid of the power because we don't really need it. I don't need the RWR beeping at me. There we go.
Перезарядка по плану. Командир, нет возможности.
It's a well-known meme, he trolls the media, knows what he's doing. That is way too much effort into just trolling, and there's way too many things that would not work in that. See the autopilot car tunnel? Yeah, that's basically it. Like, okay, well, if that's trolling, I understand the guy has, like, oodles of money to waste on dumb shit, but that's, like, taking it to a whole new level. Literally spend it on anything else, it would be a better use of money and resources. I mean, I may be a bit, like, constitutionally unable to understand or empathize with people that spend that much money doing shit like that, but frankly, the solution to transport problems in cities is public transport. That's it, public transport. I don't care if it's smelly, or if you're scared you'll get stabbed, or if it's sometimes late, it's better than a fucking billion cars choking up the streets. Like, Sydney right now, here we go with the fucking politics. Sydney right now is being torn up 9 ways to Sunday because the Liberals think that the solution to Sydney's traffic problems, which have been a thing since, you know, for a very long time, put it that way, because the roads were not built for that volume of traffic, the solution to this isn't build more rail networks. The solution to this isn't put in more bus routes. The solution to this is bulldoze a few neighbourhoods in order to build a series of new highway tunnels using taxpayer dollars, but they're not owned by the state. So they're being publicly funded as far as construction goes. They're privately owned. There will be a toll on them. The contract for the toll is disgusting. Like, there's provision for toll hikes every year for the next 40-something, I think it's like 47 or 49 years. And this is supposed to fix Sydney's traffic problem by adding more of what made the traffic problem become a thing in the first place. Like, roads for private transport are not the problem. Or, not the solution to the problem, rather. I can't words right now. Stalker fried my brain. Rich conservatives have stymied Metro Atlanta for 40 years and prevented mass transit from going outside of Fulton County nearly... Yeah, this is exactly the problem. People whose monetary interests lie in stymieing public transport, like, oh, I don't know, someone who proposes an idea that directly runs counter to new trains or new buses, they have prevented any new transport networks being put in that actually work. Instead, they come up with these enormously wasteful MacGuffins that are either designed to fail so that they can just put in more roads, or they're not designed to fail, but they're designed by someone who has no actual clue what they're doing, and it's all ideologically driven, so it fails anyway. Like, we know how to fix transport problems. It's called fucking trains. This is not new knowledge. It's been known for a very long time. The problem is, people want to act like public transport is this thing that, oh, it's so dirty, oh, it's so disgusting, oh, I might be late, oh... Like, most of the people proposing these alternatives do not exist in the same world as us. They've never been on public transport. In fact, they probably don't even drive their own car. They have someone to drive them. So it's small wonder they have no idea how any sort of transportation infrastructure works. Like, they have no concept of it, because they're not the one using it. Yeah, it's just stupid. There's so much politics that fucks over urban planning, and that's what it is. It's fucking over urban planning for the sake of ideology. So Newcastle, where I used to live until about 2 years ago, and where I would rather live than here, put it that way. Newcastle was a working town. Newcastle is still the biggest coal harbour in the Southern Hemisphere. It's, you know, the Hunter Valley is just laced with mines. It was also a major shipbuilding centre until recently, and until about till 30 years ago, it also had a massive steelworks. Newcastle was 100% through and through working class town. And it had the docks and everything on the waterfront. So BHP closed because of the resource slump, which anyone could have seen coming from miles off. Of course, resources picked back up afterwards, but they'd already sold the plant and demolished the thing, so well done BHP. There goes 20-odd thousand jobs in most of Newcastle's economy. So BHP went, and then all the wealthy types from Sydney, and particularly, like, mostly Sydney and Melbourne, I think it was, started coming up to Newcastle. And after BHP went, it started this cascade where other industries went as well. So the docks went, at least on the Newcastle side of the harbour. And so when the docks went, all the land got bought up by property developers, and it got turned into high-rise luxury apartments. They're still bulldozing shit and building new apartments there, and all these people from Sydney and Melbourne are moving up. And, you know, they're gentrifying the town, basically, to cut a long story short. But Newcastle had, like, a proper heavy rail network that ran from Sydney through the Central Coast up to Newcastle, ran into the heart of Newcastle, right to Newcastle Station. It was a major train terminus. They decided that actually there's money to be made here, so they closed down the stretch of rail between basically the outskirts of Newcastle and Newcastle City Centre, ripped up the railway line, sold it all off to build new luxury apartments and fancy green spaces for all the people living in the luxury apartments. And then put in a new, like, tram system. Like, Newcastle used to have trams in the 30s and 40s, and they got rid of them when the heavy rail went in. And no one missed them, because they didn't need them. We had buses. But yeah, so they ripped up the heavy rail. They put in a new tram system, which is only just going operational. It cost an absolutely obscene amount of money. It can't handle nearly as many passengers. It just meant more buses on the road as well, which clogs the whole thing up. Like, it's just fucked. And the whole thing was laced with corruption because a lot of money changed hands between the in-power state government and the developers who ended up doing the thing. Why are they not rearming me? The world wonders. Oh, probably because the engines hadn't spooled down yet. There we go. I keep warning you guys not to set me off, and this is why. Don't think 75 people total watch DCS. Oh, on a good day you might get 75, I reckon. Do for some people, you need to yeet them over. I've seen, I mean, Ralphie usually gets about 40 or 50, I think. Colt usually gets in the high 20s or 30s. Hera gets in the 30s. Like, I've seen lots of people get into the 30s while there's been other DCS streamers on. It just depends on the time of day and what day it is. Like, some days I have a shitload of people, some days I have no one turn up. Same times and everything, so... It's a bit confusing, but oh well. If I get enough subs, I'll do an F-16 giveaway. Won't buy the F-16 himself, we'll give them away. Good shit right there. Worked for Gatto. Use Elon's tunnels here, the biggest nonsense getting across the water from North Vancouver to Vancouver. Well, I mean, really the only good thing about his tunnels is that the planned diameter of them is about the same as the deep level underground in London. So you could just buy some surplus trains off whoever it is. Well, I suppose the London Underground is its own company now, after everything got privatised. Buy some spare trains off them, have some trains, problem solved. Trains are like the solution to every mass transit problem, just nobody wants to do them because it's not sexy, basically. Property value would decrease? Yeah, so much fucking shit goes on because, ooh, my property value. Just because I have a controlling interest in an industry that would have to compete with public train systems I pay politicians. Yeah, exactly. BC ferries, yeah, okay, so I have some experience with that because we were staying with some friends in Gibsons on the way home, well, on the way back to Australia from our trip home. And yeah, if you miss that ferry, guess what? You're waiting for like 4 hours. So they could definitely use a bit more there, but I don't think old Muskie's tunnels would be the way to fix that, to be dead honest with you. One major tunnel that you can either drive cars through, or better yet, put something like the, you know, like a downscaled channel tunnel through that with just like maybe a couple trains an hour that can load cars. Problem solved. Probably cheaper as well. Well, actually, definitely cheaper. And safer. Fucking Muskie's tunnels are probably the most dangerous shit I've ever heard of in my life. I would rather live on top of an RBMK than I would take any motor vehicle into one of those tunnels with me in it. It sounds like a great way to either die in a horrible, uncontrollable chemical fire or get atomized as another car hits me at 150 mile an hour because something fucked up on the control system. My engine's gonna start. Hello? Oh, electrical power helps, hey. There we go. So this was DCS stream, not complain about our commute. I mean, why not? Priority BC ferries 40. I mean, we were lucky we didn't miss them. We actually arrived right on time, pretty much both times we used the ferry. When we used to live in the UK, we did the Channel ferry a couple times, and that was like on a bad day, that was like a hour or two. No, it's longer than that. It was a long time. I was a kid at the time, so I didn't have a real firm concept of time, so bear with me, but that was a long trip. On a bad day, the weather was atrocious. It was not a pleasant trip. The loading was a nightmare. As soon as we started using the Channel Tunnel, it was like, oh my god, why didn't we start doing this earlier? It's a fucking godsend, that thing. I mean, ferries are all well and good for smaller water crossings or less busy ones, and particularly for passenger-only routes, but when it comes to something like that, when you've got a lot of people that want to load vehicles, just build a fucking tunnel and run a train through it. Like, come on. one tunnel for the, or two tunnels for the trains, one each direction, and then a tunnel for trucks. Problem solved. And probably cheaper to actually build and maintain than running all those ferries as well. Although I'm not a civil servant, so don't cite me on that. But the pause would also be in the train I know, right? Stupid fault lines. Yeah, that's true. That is true. Parents always told me to marry a rich girl. I mean, if you can do that, then good shit. You know, well done. But I'm not sure that constitutes sound life advice, to be honest. That's a bit like just don't be poor, forehead. All right, we need different music. Let's go with that one. I mean, I'm not really into the whole marriage thing anyway, so... That might also be slightly tinged by the fact I've yet to find another human being that can tolerate me for extended periods. But no, in my opinion, and here I go again, but in my opinion, unless it's something you actually want to do, there's no reason. Like, if it's something you want to do and you want to have a big wedding and that, like, cool, you do you. Not my problem, I'm not going to complain. But for me personally, I don't want to spend an inordinate amount of money that would be better used on literally anything else, throwing a big celebration for people I probably don't want to deal with anyway, to celebrate the fact that I've basically got the government involved in my relationship. And then, you know, like, it's pointless anyway, because there's laws about de facto partnerships and shit here anyway. So you don't actually legally need to be married to get tax breaks and stuff. At least not as far as I'm aware.
107. Латиния. Взлет по готовности. Отход по схеме на 300.
My position has always been, like, if you're a person that does marriage, that's fine. There's no problem with that. But for me personally, marriage is just, it doesn't have meaning to me. What has meaning is a relationship. If you really need an external sort of source to validate your relationship, you're probably not with the right person, to be quite honest. That's my opinion. I mean, again, other people might have different ideas, but that's mine. So, I mean, I'm sure there's certain women out there who would be able to convince me otherwise, but generally speaking, marriage is not for me. Working retail was hell. It was either high school girls flirting with me or really old money Southern Belle grannies. Oh god, yeah, no, fuck that shit. So my age cutoff is like a couple of years below my own age. I can kind of, like, academically I can understand why some guys chase girls who are like barely legal, but that doesn't do shit for me. Because they're emotionally immature, you have nothing in common, like, nah. I really don't do relationships more than about 5 years below my own age. That's my absolute kind of hard limit. Preferably, the less gap, the better. And my gap is smaller downwards than upwards because, you know, it's more about I want someone who's fully developed as an adult and has life experience. I mean, I'm hardly the most well-adjusted person. I don't have a great deal of life experience myself. I don't want someone who's even more of a fuck-up than me and requires me to be their, like, surrogate parent. That's weird. There's all kinds of weird fucking power dynamics in that, which I don't want to touch with a 10-foot barge pole, quite frankly. Oh yeah, this was a DCS stream, wasn't it? Oops. It's been a while since I actually last properly drank, and I did guzzle that a bit fast, so I think it went to my head. I also didn't sleep much last night, so that probably isn't helping. And I'm hungry. Marius, please. Please don't ever say that again. Say that to Brant. If you see Brant in my chat, call him Daddy. He loves it. Yeah. Yeah, like, see, my range goes higher for older as well, because I'm really, I don't want to be one of those fucking people that goes, oh, I was born in the wrong generation, because that shit's fucking dumb as hell and it's obnoxious. But I have a certain affinity with, you know, the period when my parents were my age. I can't claim that I know what it was like, because I obviously wasn't born yet, but, you know, I get things from then, to a degree. So that's when my age range goes higher up than down, because it's kind of in my comfort range. Oh, hello, he's really close. Please don't trash that behind a mountain. Oh, he's diving. What a shock. That looks like it's guiding well. Yep, we got him. Where'd the other guy go? Just vanished. Must have popped into a valley. How is it that when I'm totally distracted and chatting shit about random stuff that has nothing to do with DCS, I'm actually racking up kills? This is dumb as hell. Right, posturing shot. Try and force him to turn cold, or at least not get a shot out on me. He's going to drive it into the dirt. Big surprise. We'll go up. We'll put the nose over him. Give him another ER to make sure he doesn't turn hot on me. That didn't fire. Why am I not... Why is that not firing? Hello? Please shoot. There we go. That one came off the rail. That's forced him defensive again. Coming in close, we'll go for a 73 if he gets much closer than that. Looks like it's guiding well. Smack! Well, I'm out of, nearly out of ERs. I got one ER and an ET left, but we just clobbered two guys over the head right off the runway. Yeah, this is growling sidewinders. You can tell if you look at my data link, you just see this conga line of guys flying into each other. Best way to bait a Sukhoi is to I am going 90 degrees pre-flare and make him think he's got good track. Yeah, especially if it's some idiot like me that doesn't actually know what the fuck they're talking about. Right, that's not the guy I want. This guy's getting really close. He's probably screened by terrain right now, which might be why I can't pick him up. There we go. There he is. Hello, friend. He's got a friendly way up above him. Don't know what the fuck that guy's doing. Another friendly coming in co-out with me. Off my 5. Can I fire? Okay, we're gonna override that shit. There we go. ET. Is he gonna just fly into those? I hope he does. That would make me a very happy boy. Okay, let's get in close for the 73s. No need, splashed him. RTB to rearm. GG. Easy. Fucking zero effort. Wait, what? We didn't get a splash on him? Oh shit, he splashed our friend, I think. Was that what happened, or the friendly splash him? What happened there? Someone else got him with a 77, I guess. Alright, whatever. We got some kills, that's all I care about. I'm just going to be really lazy and go into recovery mode and let the thing fly itself for a bit so I can read what you guys are saying. Made the mistake of dating an Aussie chick, so we either get married here and piss off her family and mine, do a wedding in Ontario and just piss off hers even more, or a wedding in Australia and my family will lose their mind. Yeah, good luck with that. Best compromise, just never get married. Exactly! It's the smart solution. It makes sense. Like, nobody cares about that shit anymore, so it's not like there's any real societal pressure to do it. If you don't want to, just don't. If it doesn't make financial or geographic sense, don't. Doing the OkCupid thing, I never really thought about my age range. First thought was, well, I want someone old enough to drink, 21 plus, sure. Yeah, practical considerations right there. Server's so weird, I feel like I need spam Fox 3s on this. Welcome to what every other person in the server does. I think I must be the only person who doesn't fly the J11. Apparently lately sparrows are just going to space. Sparrows are a clusterfuck in general. Which plane is this and is it clicky? This is the SU-27 and no. Look at this gorgeous thing. Okay, we'll take it off recovery now, I can fly this myself. Yeah, that's exactly right. This and the 29 would be awesome to have clickable pits. I would love to have clickable pits. Because, especially flying the MiG-21 so much, 90% of the shit in here is in the same place as it is in the MiG-21. Like, I know where this shit is, and if I don't know where it is, I can just read the labels. Isn't this thing the size of a school bus? Yeah, pretty much. It's huge. It's kind of similar to the Tomcat in that it is a really big plane. Lots of room for fuel, lots of room for weapons. This was the F-15 to the MiG-29's F-16. This is the high-end, high-cost Gucci do-everything plane, whereas the MiG-29 ended up being a still good but a short-range frontal fighter. This was the multi-role sort of fighter that could also be used as a long-range interceptor. Well, I say long-range. The AL-31 is not exactly the most efficient thing going, but, you know, longer than a MiG-29, put it that way. You can see a lot of that too. Visually, they look very similar. The SU-27 just looks like a scaled-up MiG-29 with a longer nose. The layout of most of the cockpit is pretty similar. There's some differences, particularly on the side rails, but the actual sort of instrument panel is basically the same. MiG-28 is best MiG. Man, I can't wait for the 23. I'm going to be so happy when we finally get the MiG-23. It's going to be awesome. I can't wait to just sweep the wings back and fucking yeet it. Full burner. Why am I being locked here? Good thing I saw that. Is the 23 going to be clicky? Yep. It's going to be Rusbam though, so we might not have everything working right away, or indeed for like 2 or 3 years. Want a full fidelity Hornet era Rusky plane? Well, for that you would want the MiG-29. MiG-23 is more Phantom era. Phantom slash F-15 and Tomcat. Well, I mean, I'm pretty sure everyone would love to have a full fidelity clickable MiG-29 and Su-27. It's just a case of someone doing it. ED won't do it. Not after the bullshit they had to deal with Kamov for the Ka-50, so... But it's not like there's not privately owned MiG-29s and Su-27s available in the West, including in the US. So I really don't understand the barrier to it at this point. I thought it was something to do with the Russian government, but apparently that is not the case. That's just the commonly given excuse, so there you go. Clickable Soviet 4th gens when? I do still want the Su-15 though. I really... Like, it's an obscure plane, even though it was the backbone of Soviet air defense for so long. I really want it in DCS. And then I can go harass airliners and buzz MiG-15s and knock them out of the sky with my jet wash. My approaches are so dodgy today, but hey, whatever. Good enough. It'd be easier if these pedals weren't broken, to be honest. Oh, I want to arrest that sink rate because I don't want to snag the wheels on the runway approach lights. The landing gear on this is really long. I tend to forget just how far it dangles below the aircraft, so... Oh, I've got to get rid of some speed. I don't want to burst my tyres. Too late. Came in too hot. That's alright, we can fix them. This is one of the few situations where you actually see that the Su-27 does have wing flex. You don't really see that in flight, but you do see it here. I came in too far. Like, I know what I did there. I just didn't lose enough speed before touching down. You want to be touching down at around 280 to 300, not 350. Really, I should have gone around. But because of the way this server plays, the fact it's kind of a Fox 3 yeet fest and people take off from the parking area and ram into each other here, it's like my attitude to actually using any kind of decent airmanship is, it takes too long, who cares? No one else is doing it, so why should I? Which is probably a really bad attitude, but you know, who cares? I'd like to note that's not my attitude in real life. I do not actually fly like that, okay? Just disclaimer.